Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer and today is PYOW! So, if you're new here and you don't know what the heck a PYOW is, okay, Premier Yarn of the Week. Premier Yarn of the Week. Every Thursday I come on and I show a yarn from Premier Yarns. We feature it. Sometimes I throw in a cute little tutorial. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, this is a cool yarn. Check it out. It's on sale. Now, this yarn is already a fantastic price, so I don't predict this ever going on sale because it's $6.99 is a big giant ball, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this yarn, but I have featured this yarn in the past before, but there's a reason I'm showing it today. So this is the Just Yarn Value. It is 875 yards, 100% acrylic. It's a decent, soft, squishy acrylic. If you've ever worked with the Premier Yarns Basics, it's basically the same thing. If you've ever worked with the Just yarn from the Dollar Tree, it's the same yarn. So it's a thick, plump, plushy, squishy yarn. So with that being said, it's a medium waist. It's not wasted. It's not wasted. Enter Bentley. It is a medium worsted weight yarn. Hi, Bubba's. And it's got the standard, the Okotex standard thingy on there where it's tested and approved against 350 plus harmful chemicals. Bentley is trying to get into stuff that he's not supposed to get into. So, that's my cute little Bubba's. Bentley right here. Look up, look up. So do you see this cute shirt while I'm trying to get Bentley's attention? Get out of my bag. He's like, I need to be getting your garbage. So anyway, you see this cute shirt? I didn't make this. I'm gonna actually stand up and show it to you. Cause, hi Bubba's. Alright, so I got this cute little shirt at Torrid, right? Supposed to have that shirt supposed to be down for. So anyway, it's a crop top. It is super like cute. It's one of those, I mean, it's not a one size fit all, but it could very well fit all. You can see my like my silhouette through that. Okay, so this is knit and it's from Torrid. So this is made for a large company, but it's really cute, right? And it makes me feel pretty. However, I knew going in buying this shirt that I could make this. Now, granted, this is knit. We're gonna crochet a shirt. But I was sitting here thinking, I'm looking at it because it's really, it feels nice. It's got a nice squish factor to it. And it's really pretty and it's got like this nice holey. So you could put it over a tank top. You could put it over like, I would recommend a tank top, but you could like put, I mean, style it how you want. If you want to wear a long sleeve shirt under this, wear a long sleeve shirt under this. I just think it's really cute. Okay. It makes me feel good about myself. I really like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. So I want to replicate this in crochet. So rewind back to the reason I'm showing this yarn is because I want to try to make one of these out of this yarn. And it just occurred to me that this almost matches my little water bottle. So today we're going to do a tutorial. The tutorial I'm doing is going to be a one size fits all situation. Okay. You are going to make this and I'm going to show you how to adjust it so that it fits your body. You can make this as big or as little as you want it. I'm going to tell you that right now. You can make this for a little girl. I'm going to show you how to adjust the pattern. Okay? Simple, okay? You're going to be the one doing the measurements. You're going to be the one figuring out the chain. It's going to work out, I promise. Okay? So we're going to go down to the table. You need just one ball. I'm going to show you all the ins and outs of how to make this for whatever body size that you want. Alright, so to get started, a couple of details. I forgot to tell you, this is the color Sea Glass. There we go. It's the color Sea Glass. You can pick any of the Just Yarn colors that they have. They have some really nice colors. They have it in white, they have it in black, they have it in red, they have it in navy blue, all of which I possess. I possess all of those colors. Alright, so I am using a 6.5 millimeter hook because the idea is I want this to be, I want the stitches to be open So, I mean, we're going to do that. This is chaining, but I also want it to just be drapey and loose and comfortable. So even though this is knit stitching, we're going to try to replicate this. Now, we're going to start with the neck. And a 6.5 millimeter hook. If you want the chains to be smaller, you can use a 5.5 millimeter hook. It's not a big deal. And I say this in a lot of videos. What hook size you use in my tutorials oftentimes does not matter. I change it up so that you're measuring it off your body size, so the hook size doesn't really matter. I'm just pulling you guys up a little higher so that I have more room to crochet. Alright, so I'm going to keep my phone next to me because Mr. Cinnamon might be calling me soon. Alright. Somebody sent me a package. Alright, now, tilt my camera. We're going to start with just a basic slip knot. And if you don't know how to make a slip knot because you're new, look at here, you just hold it like this, right? Here's a short tail. You flip it over so that it looks like an awareness ribbon. You pinch it at the X. You go from the top to the bottom, grab the long tip part. Bam! Slip knot! Now you're a rock star. Alright, so we are going to chain around our neck. So if you want it closer to your neck, chain it so that it fits over your head, but just barely. Okay? I want mine a little bit looser. If you guys saw, it is like draped down on my shoulders a little bit, and I know from experience that if I chain about 100, that will work. So I'm going to start off, because this is a 6.5 millimeter, I'm going to start with like a chain of 75 and test it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oops. Alright, so that's a chain of 40. That obviously ain't going nowhere. That ain't close enough. $70. Alright, so let me get my tape measure from Nancy. Nancy gave me this tape measure. What's up, Nancy? Because I know she's watching. Alright, I'm going to try to stretch this out. That is about 22 inches. And I know that I have a 22-inch head, so that's going to barely fit over the top of my head, so I need to add more. So, did I say that was 70 or 75? We're going to pretend it's 70, it don't matter. That was 90. $100. Alright, now this is just about the length of my desk right here, so I'm going to say it's probably 30 inches. I'm just measuring it off camera. Alright, so that is about 34 inches for me, which works because I want mine off of the shoulders. So, my starting chain is about 34 inches. Now, the way that you can measure this for a little kid is little kid heads, in general, on average, are like 16 to 18 inches, depending on their age, depending on how big they are. Start at 16 inches. Start at 18 inches for an older kid, and you can do this exact pattern exactly the way I'm showing you. Just your starting chain is what's going to matter. All right, now, trying not to turn it, but I know that we're going to. We are going to slip stitch to join in that first one, and try not to twist this, but I always twist it, so I'm going to guarantee that this is going to twist at some point. That's the way my life always works. Now, because we did 100, and I should have did this first, so have stitch markers ready, okay? It will make your life easier. When I was doing the chain 100, I should have, but I didn't know I was going to do chain 100. So if you're going to do a chain 100, if you're going to chain 100, put a stitch marker at the 25th spot, because that's what we need. We're going to make a square. My mini stitch markers, most of which are from the Jujus. Why there's a needle in there? That could have been dangerous. Crochet Queen. I like the little ones. Oh, that's a pony. Juju made me that one. And that's a knitting stitch marker. Oh, a little drink. I don't drink, but it'll work. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to, at the 25th mark, we are going to put a stitch marker. So I'm going to do that ahead of time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Please mark this while you're doing it. If you decide you're going to make 100, because you want the one off the shoulders like I do, just every 25 stitches put a stitch marker. Make your life easier. Don't follow my footsteps with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Isn't this cute? This little shrinky dink Juju made for me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. See how it's twisted? Every time I do that. If you start this with a, and this should be 25 stitches, so we don't really need to mark the first one because we have that little tail hanging out, but like, we mark it anyway. If you start with a foundationless single crochet stitch, which I probably should have did, it will look nicer, but you'll also not have to worry about it twisting. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. That's going to count as a double crochet, and then every stitch across until you get to that stitch marker, you're just going to put a double crochet. So you should have 24 double crochets across, and then before the 25th, in that 25th stitch, we're going to put an increase. This is going to be the neckline. I'm going to need to pull some more yarn out. The one downfall of these big giant yarns is because the ball is so big, A, it takes up a lot of room on my desk, which already has a lot of stuff on it, but B, the first several rows, the first several hundred yards, it's kind of tight. So you have to work extra to get the yarn out of the hole. Now, whatever number you have, just try to make it an even number of 4 that you can divide it, because we're going to make this a big, giant square. I'm going to start off with a square. I'm going to work from there. So at those 4 stitch markers, we are going to put an increase to create a square. just hear my wind chime. And if your number is slightly off, it is not going to matter. You just kind of want each side to be equal. So however many stitches you have in the center between those stitch markers should be equal. Otherwise it's gonna misalign. It's gonna look funky. Alright, so we got to the stitch marker. Now remember, you don't have to chain 100 here. If you want it closer to your neck, just measure your head, or the person you're making it for's head. 16 to 24 inches is average, depending on the age. 16 is like, my niece who is 4 has an 18-inch head, but she's got a noggin on her. She's got a big head. Her baby sister who is 1 has about not much smaller. So probably 16 inches for the 1-year-old, 18 inches for the 4-year-old. Little man's head is 22 inches. He's 8 years old, but again, everybody in my family has big heads. Me, Juju, we all have 22 inches. So that's why I started with bigger than that, because I want it to be off my shoulders a little bit, like the one I'm wearing. But if you want it tighter, just make it slightly larger than the size of the person's head. All right, so now we got to the corner. So we are going to put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And if you have a hard time with stitch definition, you can move your stitch marker up so that you can see that's where you need to put your next increase. I don't really need to do that, but I'm just showing you as an example. So now we are going to double crochet along to this side. We're going to do the same thing around all 4 corners. We are going to double crochet, and then when we get to that corner, we're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then the next row is going to be different, so don't jump ahead because you think you know what I'm doing, because we're not. This is just the neckline. And of course, if you are uncomfortable with your stomach, which I totally get, you do not have to make this a crop top. You can make this as long as you need it to be. I'm just going to kind of play until I start to run out of yarn, because that is my goal, is to put this yarn into a shirt. And I might be able to make 2 shirts because of the stitch that we're using. It's not going to take up a lot of yarn. So that will be my challenge over this month to myself, to see how many shirts I can make out of this yarn. And I know for a fact Juju would wear this, so maybe I could make me and Juju matching ones, but like in her color choice. We are almost to that second stitch marker. Alright, so this is the stitch. The second stitch marker is, I'm going to move the stitch marker out of the way because it's going to get in my way. So that where the stitch marker is, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Proceed around, continue this until you get to the end of the row. So see how it's already starting to create like a curve here. So that's going to be where the square is here. This square is already going to start here. So it's going to, the neckline is going to look like this. Okay, so it's going to be squared off. And then I will meet you at the end of the row to show you how to do that very first corner. Alright, so we're at the corner, and apparently I crocheted too many. I have 1 extra stitch here, but that's going to be fine. So we got to the 24th stitch here. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 of the row. And that's going to create our corner over here. And I know that looks funny, but when I weave that in, I promise I will fix that. So like I said, we fudge things on this channel. We just kind of go with the flow. We don't try to make anything too serious. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I want to create this diamond shape looking thing. So to do that, we're going to start off with, actually we're gonna flip it and go backwards. We're gonna work back into that corner just to make our lives easier. Slip stitch into the corner. So we turned our work and now we're going back the way we just came. We're slip stitch into that corner. We're gonna chain 2, put a double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Alright, that's our increase. Pull some more yarn out. Now, we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to skip. So pull that back if you need to so you can see that this is a stitch, this is a stitch, okay? See the stitches? 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2, and in the third, we're going to put a single crochet. And then once again, we're going to chain 4, 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip 2, and in the third, we are going to put a single crochet. And continue that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 2, and in the third, I'm going to put a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 2, and in the third, single crochet. We're going to do that till we get to the corner. Then we're going to put another increase. Chain 4, skip 2, single crochet. Chain 4, skip 2, single crochet. Two, 3, 4. Oh, we're at the corner. All right, so we're at the corner. So we did our chain 4. We are going to put 2 double crochet. Actually, that was not an equal amount of stitches. So we got to the end. We're going to skip 2, and then in the third, but the next stitch over is the increase. So when you get towards the end of your row, if you have an uneven amount and you're close enough that you can fudge it, we're just going to fudge it. So 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in the corner, chain 4, skip 2, and in the third put a single crochet. Okay, so see, it's not going to make a difference that there was 1 extra stitch there. See that? And that is how you fudge, my folks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because after this first row, it's not going to matter at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 2. Skip 2. Chain 4, skip 2, 2, 3, 4, and we are at the corner, so we are going to put 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, that creates our corner, chain 4. Make sure if you need to pull that back so you can see where your stitches are. This is what it looks like so far. And the more we crochet, these diamonds will actually be created and they will open up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm glad I used a 6.5mm hook so that this is not real tight together. That you'll actually see the openings. Now, if you live in a hot climate, like Florida, or, you know, anywhere that's hot right now, and you don't like the idea of using a worsted weight yarn for this, or acrylic for that matter, you can use whatever you want and just recreate this, because we're basing it off measurements. We're not basing it off of stitch count. So you can change this up. You can make this out of a cotton blend, a bamboo blend, whatever you want. You can make it out of a really thin yarn if you so want. So we got to the corner. So we have the chain 4, and there's only 2 stitches there, because apparently I miscounted somewhere else too, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So we're going to put the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 4, skip 2, chain 4, 4, skip 2, single crochet. Once we get past the setup row doing that neckline, every row is going to be the same, and you can do this 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, it's going to be the next row. It ain't going to be this row. It's going to be the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4. You just continue the next row over and over again until you get the length you want. Don't worry, I will explain. And we're back to that first. So there's 1, 2, 3 stitches I can skip here, but it's fine. So we're going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 of the beginning of the row. If I can get my hook in there. And there you have it. Alright, so this is what it looks like. This is row 2 technically. Alright, so that's what it looks like so far. It's squaring off perfectly. Now this is going to be the neckline, but we're going to fold it in half like this. So your armholes will be on either side, and this will be the body of your shirt. So we're going to continue this in the round until you fold this over and this is as big enough that you can easily fit your arm in. Now my armhole goes down to my rib cage, so you can adjust this if you want a smaller yarn or a smaller armhole. You can do that. It's all fine. All right, so what we're going to do every corner, this row is your repeat row. You are going to do every single row exactly like this. You're going to slip stitch over to that corner, slip stitch into the corner, chain 2, put another double crochet in there, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Okay, now because this one is a little bit closer, we're going to do a chain 2, and we're going to put a single crochet in that very first chain space at the corner. Okay, so this is our increase. We chained 2 and we single crocheted in the, let me show you again. So this is what the increase looks like. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. The first one that's connected to the increase of the row before us, chain 2 and single crochet in that first one. Okay, otherwise you're going to have a bigger and bigger loop there, and that's not what we're going for. Chain 4, go to the next loop, single crochet, chain 4, go to the next loop, crochet, chain 4, go to the next loop. It's really easy. Chain 4, go to the next loop, single crochet. Do that till you get to the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, when we get to that corner, we just want to chain 2. We don't want to chain 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so see, here's the corner. This is the last chain space, so we're going to single crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that first loop, And that's what our corner should look like. Okay, chain 4 again. And this is your repeat. You just do this 2, 3, 4 until it's long enough to join under your arms. So you can easily fit your arms in, but I'll show you that part too, don't worry. Chain 4, single crochet. Chain 4, single crochet. Chain 4, single crochet. Chain 4. Now we're at that last corner one. So we're going to chain 2 after we're into the corner one. 2 double crochet. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. Chain 2. Single crochet in that first loop. Chain 4. Oops. And as you crochet, the weight from the yarn will actually pull these diamond shapes open more. So you don't really have to block it or anything. And if you want to block it, you can, but I just find that to be extra work. And a lot of times, just the weight of the yarn will pull the stitches open. Two, three, 4. We're in the corner. We're at the corner, so we're gonna chain 2. Remember to chain 2 at the corners. Then double crochet, 2 double crochets. Chain 1, 2 double crochets. Chain 2. Single crochet, chain 4. And usually 2, 3, 4. When I tell you that a pattern can be made for any size, there's usually like at least 5 people who are like, I'm gonna make this for my granddaughter. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I always love seeing you guys make my garments no matter what size you're making. I like seeing them. So if you make this, all right, so we're at the last corner, so we're gonna double crochet or single crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch to that first chain 2 of the row. So if you make this, I would love to see it no matter what size you make it. So okay, so there we have our squarish. It's squarish. It's a little bit rounded, which is fine. So the neckline wants to be rounded, and that is just fine with us. So eventually we're going to be able to fold this in half. This will be our armhole, and then we're going to start working the same stitch pattern but in the round, and then we don't have to do any increases. So we're going to continue this round until, I don't know, you reach under your boob is where I'm going to say. When this reaches across your chest and down underneath your boob, then we're going to go on the round. At least that's what I'm aiming for. You can make your armhole smaller, but I kind of like the way it looks with the big open holes. And you're supposed to wear a tank top under this anyway, so it's fine. So just continue that row that I just showed you until it's long enough that if you put this part over your head, okay, so your head's in here, and you fold that down like this, that these 2 pieces can touch under your arms and you're comfortable with the size of that armhole. Okay, for every body it's going to be different. For a small kid, obviously, you're only going to do a couple inches, but like for a bigger body like me, where did I put my tape measure? It's right here. So for me, I'm going to probably do this I'm gonna say 12 inches from here down. I'm gonna say 12 inches will probably work. So this row I just showed you for 12 inches, and then connect it after that point and I'm a 3X, well, I say 3X, 4X because I do still wear a 4X in some clothes because of preference, and I don't like form-fitting stuff, but 3X/4X, I'm gonna do 12 inches. If you are bigger, if you want it to be bigger, add a couple inches on there. If you're smaller, obviously take away inches. But we're just going to continue slip stitch. Remember, slip stitch into that corner. We always want to start in our corner. Chain 2, that counts as a double crochet. Put another double crochet. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. And then once again, we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch into that first. And then chain 4. And then continue that all the way across. Chain 4, single crochet. Chain 4, single crochet. Chain 4, single crochet. And see, as the weight of the garment, these will open up and it will have a very similar look to the shirt that I bought from Torrid. 2, 3, 4. And don't forget at the corners, you want a chain 2, not a chain 4, before and after the increase. And just continue until this fits under your arms. And I will be back when I have crocheted 12 inches. Okay, we're back. This is still a tutorial. I wanted to show you guys. This is what it looks like. Okay, it's a big square. Alright. Now, I've gotten to the point where it goes just under my boobs, and you're going to want to stretch this as you go. Stretch and pull those stitches out. Okay. And this is about where I'm going to see how the arm is, it's right at under my boobs. This is a good length for the sleeve. If you see this one, okay, I think this is a really good dupe, okay? And it costs a fraction of what we paid, okay? So see how this is looking? We're going to connect this in the round now. If you want this to be bigger and to have longer sleeves, obviously this is not stretched out. This is going to stretch with wear, so it's going to fit me almost identical to the white one, except we have this cute little corner detail that that one doesn't have, okay? So we're going to connect from the round, but I wanted to show you if you wanted to go a little bit bigger, if you want this to be oversized, you can, because this is the Torrid one, okay? So see how this is seamed on the top? This is actually made with 2 panels, and then they tied it, they connected it here. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be all one piece so there's no sewing. So see how this is? You can make this wider by just keep doing the square to make it as big as you want it to be. This is a little on the big side for me. I think it's cute. I feel pretty in it. However, see how the sleeve is about right there? That's about the same width as the one we're working on. So we're going to go down to the table. I'm going to show you how to connect this in the round, and I'm going to show you how to finish this top off. We are definitely going to be able to make 2 out of this ball. 2 of these 4X, 3X, 4X size. We're going to be able to make 2 out of this ball. So when I'm done with this one, I'm probably going to make one for Juju in her size. She is a extra large 1X size. So I'm going to be able to make one for her, but I'm going to make hers oversized because I think it will look really cute on her. And she's 18, so it will look better on her. So let's go back to the table. Alright, so to give you an idea of how many rows we did, actually I'll open that so you can see a little bit better. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a minute. I'm confusing myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I did 20 rows of the lattice, the chain rows. And if I measure it, where's my tape measure? I know it's on my desk. Tape measure, where did you go? It's amazing that I have 27 tape measures. I can't ever find any of them. All right. So if you measure from the neckline, and stretch this down a little bit, because like I said, these stitches are not stretched out. It is exactly 12 inches stretched out. It actually will probably stretch even longer than that, but we hit our target for 12 inches. And now we're going to connect it. So we're going to fold it in half. Okay, so that the increased rows are squared off to each other. And if your neckline is too wide for you after you finish this, you can come in and do a decrease row where you just decrease a bunch to bring in the neckline. You can do that. There's lots of ways you can make this your own. If you want to, after you crochet around the edge here, you can add length by adding rows along the sleeves. There's all kinds of ways that you can, and I need to pull this back because I started to go around another row and I was like, wait a minute, and I tried it on and it fit me. So I tried to do a 21st row, so I'm going to frog it back. All right, so I finished the 20th row in the corner here, like we did all the rows, and I'm still going to slip stitch to get into this corner here, because now what we're going to do is take the two corners, and since this is a square, you can do any of the two corners, whatever corner is closest to it, and then we are going to slip stitch into that one so that we connected it. Okay, now we are going to chain. No, we're not going to chain at all. We're going to put a single crochet in the corner stitch. So we attached it here. Battery change. All right, let me show this again because I feel like I didn't give enough detail. I feel like that wasn't. So we're going to take our two corners. Actually, we're going to chain one and then slip stitch through both of them. Actually, just single crochet. So instead of single, we're going to single crochet the two corners together. All right, now we're going to work not the armhole. Okay, so the armhole is here. This is the neck. We're going to work the bottom part, not up around the armhole. And we're just going to continue the chain 4. And we're going to skip the corner because we're not increasing anymore. So that very first one where we were doing the chain 2, this chain 2 here, skip the chain 2. Chain 4 here and go into the next chain 4 of the previous row. Chain 4 again. And just continue the chain 4 across. Okay, just continue. Chain 4 again. All the way across. 2, 3, 4. And then when we get to that next corner, we're going to do the same thing we did on this corner, and we're going to single crochet the two corners together. Ignore the chain 2 spaces because there's going to be 2 of them on that side. I'm starting to get excited because I've been working on this all day, and I've made some serious progress on this tutorial, and it's almost the right size already. So I don't have very many more rows to go to make this a crop top. And it will be, I mean, whenever I get excited and I get towards the end of a project, I'm like, I start to go fast because I'm like, all right, I'm almost done. Like, I get really excited. And since I'm talking, I'm not counting these stitches very well. So these might be chain 5s. But I get so excited and I go fast and then I slip out of my stitches a lot, which you guys see in all of my tutorials. And a lot of my tutorials is me designing as we record. So you see, I leave the mistakes in. I leave the errors in so you guys can see the thinking process and how I design. And so you can make adjustments as you go, just like I do. Because my goal with my tutorials is to teach you how to design your own garments. And I think I've done that successfully with a lot of you. I've had so many people give me credit for something they designed because they took my idea and they ran with it like I encourage. I encourage you to change it however it meets your needs so that you're happy with the garment. I encourage that. But then they come out with something that's totally different and beautiful and unique, and they give me credit because they got the base idea from me, but really that's your design. You did that. That wasn't me. I gave you the foundation and you rolled with it, and I love seeing that. And some designers get actually really offended by that. I encourage that. Play with your yarn, you guys. If you mess up, so what? Make something new with it, you know? 2, 3, 4. We are at the corner. So once again, we're going to skip that chain 2. We're going to go in this corner and the other corner. I'm going to single crochet, chain 4. I'm going to flip the garment over because now we're going to be working the back. And we're just going to continue on. Since we did the chain 4, once again, we're going to skip the chain 2 here. So this is the corner. Skip the chain 2 and go into the chain 4. Put a single crochet, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure that when you do this part, that this part is wide enough to go around the fattest part of your stomach or the widest part of your hips if you're making this longer, because you can make this a full shirt. It does not have to be a crop top. You just continue this until it is the length that you want. And we are going to put, see how the bottom of this shirt, this is the bottom part that goes around my stomach. This is a good couple inches of knit stitch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do single crochets. You can do half double crochets. You can do double crochets. You do whatever. You can do ribbing on the bottom if you want. I'm just gonna do I think I'm gonna replicate this and do singles or half doubles. So that is about 3.5 inches at the bottom of a solid. So we're gonna do that on the bottom of this too. So keep that in mind. When you're done with this length, it's gonna have another 3-4 inches on the bottom of it. And like I said, you can do whatever stitch you want for that. You can do singles, half doubles, doubles, does not matter to me. You can do a rib stitch, which is front post, back post, double crochet. I think I'm gonna do half double because half double is my favorite. Love half double crochet. I like the way it looks. I like working it up. It's my favorite. So this would be the time to try it on because we got our corners nice and secured. Okay. Make sure it fits around the biggest part of your body that it's going to fall on. Now, when it comes time to do the bottom of this shirt, I'll show you when we get to the end of this row. So when I do this row, we're going to work in the round. I'm going to work in the round. We're not even going to, so what we're going to do is, because I know that we started it here, what do I do with my stitch markers? You don't have to do this. You can do this. It doesn't matter. This is the very first, this is where we connected in. This is where we did our first stitch. So I'm going to put a stitch marker here because that is the beginning of our row. And we're just going to work in the round. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I apologize for the background noise. Everybody is home right now. I've been working on this all day long. And while it was quiet earlier, everyone is home from work now. So, and little man's medicine is running out, so he's getting hyper and excitable. And that little laugh you may have just heard was his evil laugh because he was doing something he wasn't supposed to. Oh, my boy, my boy. Alright. We are almost back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're almost back to that beginning of the row where we first connected in. And working in the round. I'm going to add several more rows of this chain row, the diamond row, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to add several more rows, but we're going to pretend that we're not, okay? So I'm going to show you how to treat the corners for the next couple of rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to ignore this edge here. So we connect here. This is where we joined with a single crochet to these 2 rows. Okay, so we're going to join. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to skip over this whole area and go into the chain space. This is where we single crocheted. This is the chain space. This would technically be the first of the row. We're just going to single crochet, chain 4, and skip on around. And we're going to do this until it's the length that we want. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 2, 3, 4. And do exactly the same as we did here. We're just going to skip over. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. And then when we get to the point where we feel like this is long enough and we want to add the solid part on, I'll get you around this row and then I'll show you. We'll do one more row like this, and then I'll show you the solid part at the bottom that we're going to add. So you don't really need to see me do this chain 4 because that's all we've been doing except for the corners. But now we're not putting corners in. We're just going in the round, chain 4, single crochet. No increases anywhere. And once we do that first row where we're skipping that corner stitch, that's going to be easy. You're just going to continue with this round and round and round until it's the length that you want. But keep in mind, these stitches are going to stretch out. They're going to expand, especially when we put that solid row on the bottom. These are going to pull, so this is going to grow. It's going to get longer. It's going to get wider possibly. So keep that in mind in case you don't want it to be like to the floor. Keep that in mind. Like really pull on it and stretch it and see how long it's going to get when you're wearing it. And err on the side of less stitches or less rows. I don't want you guys to have to frog anything. I hate frogging. Which is why when you see me make a mistake in a video, we just keep on going because we like to frog. Or not frog. We like to fudge it. Just proceed. Pretend we didn't do nothing. There's nothing worse than frogging. As a matter of fact, I was making my Lilo N Stitches blanket the July. And I messed up royally. And I was like, you know what? It's my blanket. I kept on going. And I just fudged it. And I know that Jada is not going to have a problem with that. She's going to be like, oh, that's fine. Alright. So we are 2, 3, 4. Approaching the second side, the second armhole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put our single crochet there. Chain 4. Skip over where we did the single crochet. We're just going to treat this like it's not a corner. We're just going to go around. Alright, now when you get back to the beginning of the row, which is over here, but we're going to pretend it's over here, okay? When you get to that stitch marker and you've made this long enough and you want to add the ribbing on the bottom, whatever stitch you pick, whether it be single crochet, half double crochet, or double crochet, it's not going to matter. Alright, so I'm back at the stitch marker, okay? That's the stitch marker right here. This is the first of the row. We are going to, I'm doing half double, but you can do single, double, it doesn't matter, okay? Every one of these loops is going to get 3 stitches. So whatever stitch you use, 3 stitches. So I put 3 half doubles there, 3 half doubles here, 3 half doubles here, and you can do 3 singles, 3 doubles. It does not matter. Does not matter. Every stitch just needs 3. Because if you remember, when we were creating the stitch up here, we chained 4, but we skipped 2 and went into the 3rd. So we need to recreate those 3 stitches. So every one of these gets 3 stitches all the way around. Okay, and then when you get back around here, you're going to slip stitch. So this is the beginning of the row. Slip stitch to join here, chain up 1 for single crochets, chain up 2 for half doubles, chain up 3 for doubles, and then continue putting a stitch in each one of those stitches, and keep doing that until you reach the 3 or 4 inches for the bottom. Now if you want to do the ribbing, if you know how to do ribbing, do ribbing. It does not matter to me, it's your shirt. So that's what you're just, that's the basic, that's the bottom of the shirt. And I trust that you know this enough and that you can do this on your own without me having to show you how to slip stitch here to join and chain up and go around and around and around. I'm going to trust you at the end of this tutorial. I'm going to frog this back because I'm not done chaining, but I wanted to show you that's how we're going to end this shirt. I'm going to actually work on this shirt tonight, and I will be back tomorrow, and it should be finished because I am on a time crunch and I'm trying to get this done by PYOW, which is Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow, and this took me all day today. So I'm going to trust that you can do this on your own. I know that you can. It's easy. Just make sure every one of those, when you're ready to do that solid bit, has 3 stitches. Slip stitch to join when you get back around. And just, it's not difficult. You guys can do this. And of course, when I'm done with this, I will come back and show you, and I will talk to you about how many rows I did for that and how many rows I'm going to add on. I think for this part, before I do the ribbing, I think from where it attaches at the underarm, I think I'm probably going to add 4 or 5 inches. So see how many rows we can get for 5 inches. Well, 5 inches is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 8 more rows of the diamond patterns. I'm going to do about 8 more rows of that, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do half double crochet for the solid part on the bottom. And then when I see you tomorrow and I turn the camera back on, this shirt should be done and I can show it to you on my body. So I will see you tomorrow or in 3 minutes. Good morning. All right, I finished it like I said I would. Very excited. I love the way it turned out. It turned out, I mean, tell me this is not a very close dupe to this. I made it a little closer into my body, exactly like I wanted. Now don't get me wrong, the one from Torrid is super cute, right? It's super cute, but it's a lot larger, and I just like things a little closer to my body. Okay, I discussed this in another recent video where we talked about being a fat girl and having things that are oversized on our bodies and they just don't look as flattering. Here, I'll show you the original so you can remember. I know for you it was like, what, a half an hour ago, but for me it was yesterday. So this is the original from Torrid. I think the retail on this was like $50. I did not pay that because I don't pay retail. Okay, so this is the original, and you can absolutely make this as wide as you want it to be, like I said in the tutorial. It's still cute. It makes me feel like I'm like sporting my 80s girl style, right? But You see how big it is here? And I think the best part about this, the entirely best part, is there's only 2 ends to weave in, which I have not weaved in either of those. There is a tail here, and there's a tail on the back, where I think I'm going to do like a thin row here, because remember at the beginning I messed up at one of the corners, which is on my back. So I think I'm going to add like a skinny single crochet row right here. So what I did after we connected under the arms yesterday is I did exactly like I said. I added 8 rows of the chain stitches, and I have not yet measured the ribbing at the ribbing. Actually, I put it on inside out. It don't matter. Because there's no seams. So, alright, let's see. And then I did 3 inches of a band at the bottom. And since this is inside out, I'm going to fix it. Because I can tell because of the way the stitches look. But really, this is reversible. You can wear it inside out. Because again, no seams. There we go. I think this is really close. It's really cute. And because I have so much yarn left over, I'm going to make a second one in a big size for my daughter. So I think I'm going to make an extra large or a 1X size for her. I'm of course going to measure it off her body. She really thinks this is cute. And I think anybody can wear this. And like I said in the tutorial, you can make this part as long as you want. So you can see how you can wear it like this. You can wear it longer. You can make it longer. It's going to stretch out over time. I like the way it looks as a little crop top though. I think it's really, really super cute. What do you guys think? So I just wanted to thank you guys because my people on my channel picked the color. I also want to thank Premier because they didn't send me this yarn. I paid for this yarn. They challenged me to use this yarn. So they said, hey, let's see how much you can make with 1 skein. So that's where we're at. I'm going to continue making these shirts until I run out of yarn. And then I'm going to show you how many shirts you can get out of 1 skein for $6.99. Because that is the idea, is to use as much as you can of that yarn. So that you can see what an incredible value that $6.99 is and how far it can get you in making cute little wearables for your cute little self. So in the future you'll see another one in this exact color, but this took me all of maybe 12 hours to make total. And that's not 12 hours straight. That's not me sitting down for 12 hours. It is 12 hours taking a break for lunch, 12 hours taking a break for dinner, you know, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. But in total, 12 hours this was done. And I think it's so cute and it's so pretty. And it's going to be a nice addition to my wardrobe. Not just my summer wardrobe, but like this is acrylic. So it will also be a little bit warm in the winter time. You can just wear it over like a t-shirt instead of a tank top. Or, I mean, wear it over long sleeves if you want. So thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. If you make one of these, I would love to see your makes. I love to see the alterations you guys make to my patterns. I love seeing you guys take my patterns or my designs and rolling with it and making it your own. So please share photos and put your beautiful face in the picture because I love to see that as well. You can post it in the Facebook group, which is Cinnamon Stitches Crochet on Facebook. You have to answer the questions and you have to answer them correctly or you will be denied entry. You can also tag me on Instagram. You can use the @ Cinnamon Stitches or you can hashtag Cinnamon Stitches. I will see it either way and just show it to me. You can even email it if you don't want to be public about it, but like I really would love to see it. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Go get you some of this yarn. Make you a cute shirt or 3 and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.